Hey everyone, it's Grant. I'm Extempore Community Manager. We are back with an exciting update. Brand new rubrics on Extempore. Let's check it out. You'll see a new rubrics button at the top of your menu, and within that page you'll see a bunch of different items that you can click on from this new page. First, we have district rubrics, and those are rubrics created by your district administrator or school official and are shared with everybody else in your institution. And then my rubrics are rubrics that you have created on your own. Shared with me, those are rubrics that have been shared with you, obviously, by, say, a co-teacher or a district administrator. Archived are rubrics that you don't want to use anymore, but that can, of course, be restored. And then global rubrics are rubrics that we here at Extempore make for you to use, whether they are AP rubrics, WIDA rubrics, or any other sort of official rubrics that are used all around the country. And we share those with you so that you don't have to recreate them, and you can import those and add them to your classes and assessments right away. Let's see what these global rubrics actually look like. On the global rubrics page, we can see that we have a list of different rubrics that we at Extempore have already pre-made for you, and you just have to copy into your account. We have the International Baccalaureate rubrics, we have examples from AP rubrics, we also have TELPAS, and even a couple rubrics for WIDA as well. So on the global rubrics page, I can find the specific rubric I'm looking for. Let's say I want a WIDA rubric. I can see we have WIDA speaking grades 1 to 12 already added, the amount of points it's worth, and then I can preview that rubric. I can click open details and it will show me the preview of that rubric. And if I like that rubric, I can copy that into my account. So I'll click copy. From here, I can see the specific details of that rubric. I can edit it however I might want to. I think it's okay for now, so I'm just going to give it a new name. I'm going to call it my WIDA, and then I'll add a tag of AP, add a tag of just speaking, and then I can save that rubric directly from there. And then once it's saved, you will see that that rubric from global rubrics is now added into my account right here, and I can add that to any questions in an assessment that I need to on Extempore. So let's see what happens if we create a new rubric. If I click create rubric, you'll see a couple things that we can do. We'll call this basic speaking. From here then, I can add tags that we can add to rubrics, say for example, AP, IB, presentational, interpretive, my own tags, which are speaking. So I'll add the speaking tag to this rubric. And then from here, I can go about creating my actual rubric. I can add a criteria, we'll say task completion, and I can add any type of description I want for that. And then from here, I can add different ratings. So say week, add a description. We'll call this 1 point. And then we'll add one more in here. We'll say good, and we'll call this 2 points. And then from here, we'll say excellent, and we'll add 3 points here. And that adds up to a total of 3 points for this criteria. Of course, you can add descriptions to each criteria section for however you want to score your students. These criteria can then be duplicated. So I'll click duplicate here, and I can keep these ratings and then edit them how I feel, but I want to keep weak, good, and excellent. And then from here, I can add, let's say, a different criteria, and we'll call this register. Right, so using appropriate, we'll call this appropriate register, and so on and so forth. Even though one criteria can be 3 points, you can have another criteria be 2 points if you wanted. And then you can mix and match, add however much you want within your scoring rubric that you can customize all on your own. From here, I will click save. Save and share will give me the option of sharing it with other teachers, but I don't want to do that right now, so I'm just going to click save. And then that rubric is added into my rubrics. Here you'll see basic speaking here. Rubric was saved. Here you'll see basic speaking is now under my rubrics. I can see how many points it has. I can also see how many questions it's been used in, none yet, when it's been created, who it's shared with, and then the tags that I've added to that rubric. Speaking of tags, if we go up here, we can click on the manage tags button and add various tags that you can add to your rubrics. Tags are simple. They're just identifiers that you can use to sort and categorize the rubrics that you have. When I come back to my rubrics, so with those tags, I can then filter by various tags. So if I only want to see speaking rubrics, I can click on the speaking tag, and then only that speaking rubric will appear. Let's see what it's like adding these rubrics to individual questions on Extempore. One of the biggest changes with our new rubric update is that rubrics are no longer added at the assessment level. Instead, they're added at the question level, so each question can have its own individual rubric. From the question page, I can see all of the typical items, the title, response type, the media prompt, and then the rubric is added here. From here, I can click on the drop-down menu and see the rubrics sorted by different types, so district rubrics, created by me, etc. And I can click on my basics for speaking rubric and add it right here. If I want to preview it, I can click preview and that'll take me to look at the rubric. And of course, I can create a new one from here as well. I'll click save to add this rubric on, and then we'll see how that looks on the student side. From the student side, you'll now see the tiles have an extra little icon here to indicate that there's a rubric attached to that question. When I click on the icon, I can then preview the rubric as a student and see all of the details of that rubric that I will be assessed on in this question. Now I can start the question, answer it, and then we can grade it as a teacher. Hey, this is my response. I think Dreammaker means that he helps people fulfill what they want to do in their lives. Within the Extempore gradebook, when I open a student's response now on these new rubrics, I'll be able to see the student's response and of course the rubric as well. Here, you'll see that each criteria and its descriptors will come up as you hover over them. So if I feel his task completion was good, I can click the 2, and then appropriate register, I can click 3 for excellent, and that's how we can score directly against a rubric, a new rubric, in Extempore's gradebook. I'll click save, and that student's response is now saved, and I've scored against the rubric. From a student side then, I can go into the Extempore student portal and see the feedback as well as the score that my instructor gave me for a given assessment. So from here, I see the completed assessments that I have. I can click on writing, I can see that it's graded. I can see the description again, and I'll click on the little green tile, which it marks that I have a score and comments available. And then from here, you'll see the rubric populate on the student's page, and each box, according to the score that the teacher marked, is colored in green to show the score that that student received for each criteria measured. So we have the discourse level, 4 points, sentence level, 5 points, and word phrase level, also 5 points as well. This is an example of a WIDA writing rubric. And then from here, we can see the instructor feedback as well, the original question, and the student's submission to that question. And that's what it looks like on the student side. With our new rubric updates, there is much more to come, including institution level reporting, as well as being able to measure student progress and measuring different criterias and how students perform against these criterias over time. So stay tuned for more, and we will see you next time.